This in-home immersion is titled with Operation Plan Sustaining the Essence of the Environment, a project on maintaining nature's presence within house premises that aids to assist with the environment struggle in a small-scale community which is implemented within the trainee's household. Mainly, this immersion is dedicated to the environment and other constituents that might be related to it. This small cause of project would help to improve the nature state and also to develop the state of being of an individual. This in-home immersion was conducted by the participant to serve as a future source for the following generations endeavors. The project will serve as a basis for greater implementation of the project. For the acknowledgement, the trainee would like to express her gratitude to all the people that helped and guided her throughout the study. First, to her parents that provided the resources for this immersion. To our instructor, Mrs. Elizabeth Verayo, for giving her support throughout the in-home immersion. And lastly, to our Almighty God, who gave the trainee the wisdom, knowledge, and strength to overcome every obstacle and to do the procedure successfully throughout the process. This immersion would not have been possible without them. Outgrowing the year of living, it is noticeable how the environment drastically changed from its nurture state towards its downfall. Pollution in all aspects has risen, and numerous countermeasures have been continuously implemented. On the inception of Earth Day in last 1917, environmental awareness has continuously increased its toll with the ecosystem's deterioration. In the early 1970s, air, water, and land pollution became more unsightly prominent in the society. People became more aware with human health threats and threats to other necessary resources. Implementation of this project will serve its benefit to a person's individuality, community, and environment. The continuous practice of this project will lead to transcendence that may bring a positive outcome to the future generation. With enough participation of proponents, it is likely that the objectives will be attained. General objective. This proposal aims to achieve plantation and maintaining the relevant needs of plants for its lifespan, additionally with conserving its encompassed surrounding, located in Block 8, Lot 21, Phase 2, Casa Amaya Subdivision, Tanza, Cavite. Specific objective 1. To normalize the maintenance of cleanliness and sustainable needs of the environment. 2. To increment knowledge among the people who are reluctant with nourishing the environment's needs. And 3. To persuade the population to adapt the practice as a habit and not an initiative in sustaining the environment's cleanliness. Summarizing the immersion activities would be divided into 3. Sustaining the seed's life to thrive with its new environment. Each sprout was divided into 3 different containers. Observation of plant progress. The first week of conducting the immersion focused on sustaining the seed's life to thrive with its new environment. Minimal cultivation was made, such as container isolation, and also monitored time of sun's exposure. Water control was also obtained to avoid the seeds to overflow and drown from its container. After a week of this maintenance, the seeds started to sprout one by one. The plant is still not viable for transfer due to its lack of strength and not enough roots to grasp the soil. Second week's improvement was likely more evident in making the plant to be susceptible for transfer. Each sprout was divided into 3 into different containers for faster and effective growth of the plant. Minimal water and sunlight are still monitored to avoid the plants to be dry. Third week's improvement showed a more significant change compared to the prior week's observations. It is physically evident how the plants increase in length, width, and number of leaves, making this immersion accomplished. For week 1, it is illustrated on the pictures the preparation of seeds and the area to be allotted. For week 2, it is shown on the picture the seeds gathered from week 1. And for the last week, it shows the plant's progress. The first problem is the lack of resources. In order to get the solution for this problem, the most ideal thing to do is ask for assistance from people that have access to the materials needed, such as parents, friends, relatives, or even neighbors. The second is availability of space. This immersion wouldn't require a great area for execution. The figure shown in week 1 proves that cleaning an area would be sustainable for a few space for this activity. It can be either on your front yard, backyard, veranda, or even the rooftop. Make sure that the area would have the access for the plant's needs. Third is consistency. This activity would require a constant application of care for the plant. A missed day of conducting the activity would lead to disintegration of the immersion's purpose. In order to avoid this, a well-managed time would be susceptible in maintaining the plant's life. Fourth are the independent variables. Too much sun would lead to drying off the sprout, and too much water would cause it to drown. Make sure that the maintenance of basic needs would be just enough to attain the desired outcome. Fifth would be the knowledge regarding the activity. Enough knowledge would be a great edge to have the positive outcome of the project. Make sure that your known information about gardening is enough and right. The use of internet and books would be a great advantage to seek information and tips in maintaining the plant's life. In this immersion, there are 3 recommendations to have a more accurate and desirable results. First is facilitating for a longer time span. A longer time span would show a more desirable results and a more evident illustration of growth of plants. It would also show the ups and downs of maintaining the plant's development and if it can really withstand the area it's thriving in. Second is the variety of plants. The more plants to be observed, the better. It is highly likely that big plants such as trees are more reliable and efficient in helping the environment in terms of release of oxygen, degradation of heat, and maintaining the soil compactness. Third is the population of participants. To have an accurate data, it would be desirable to have a statistical approach. A huge number of participants will be susceptible. This immersion have made me realize how important plant really is and how fragile they can be. Just like us humans, I can now say that they are not really that far from what we feel. They have their basic needs to sustain life and care to continue on growing. For some time, the environment has been taken advantage through the resources that it gives, and this is the actual time to give back before it's too late. Gardening has also affected my psychological health. I have observed that it genuinely made me stress-free while doing the activities from week 1 to week 3. It gave me a peace of mind and alone time with the time of immersion. Throughout the process of the activity, I had a wider perspective about plants and how to properly manage its growth. It is not easy as it seems, and it made me more empathetic about the condition. In this immersion, I have learned to manage my time completely to keep my consistency with handling its growth.